A powerful magnitude 7.1 earthquake tore through southern Japan on Tuesday, striking the Kumamoto region of Kyushu Island and unleashing the kind of violent shaking residents there haven't felt in a decade. A shallow, violent shock. The quake hit in the afternoon at a shallow depth of just over 10 kilometers, a combination geologists say amplifies surface destruction. Japan's seismic intensity scale registered the tremor at Shindo 7, the maximum possible reading, in parts of Kumamoto Prefecture. Neighboring prefectures, including Nagasaki, Kagoshima, Fukuoka, Saga, and Miyazaki, all reported strong shaking as well. The epicenter sat roughly 12 miles south of Kumamoto City, a hub of central Kyushu with a population near 700,000. The quake struck at approximately 4:27 p.m. local time, sending buildings swaying, knocking shelves and office equipment to the floor, and cracking open roads across the prefecture. The mall collapse in Kushima. The most alarming scene unfolded at an Aeon shopping mall in the town of Kushima. Officials said an explosion tore through the second floor of the building, followed by a partial structural collapse. Firefighters described a large number of shoppers and employees trapped inside as thick white smoke rose from the wreckage. Local broadcasters reported that between 20 and 30 mall employees could not be reached in the hours after the quake. Emergency crews worked through fallen debris and twisted steel, searching for survivors. At least one death has been confirmed, with authorities warning the toll from the mall alone could rise further. More than 100 people have been injured across the region so far. Industrial damage and trapped workers. At a paper factory in the city of Yatsushiro, a tall industrial chimney collapsed during the shaking. Several workers there remain unaccounted for, and the company says it's been unable to make contact with a portion of its staff. Rescue teams have been dispatched to assess the damage and search for anyone trapped. At least 12 buildings collapsed across Kumamoto Prefecture, with 4 of those sites confirmed to still have people trapped inside during parts of the response. Infrastructure under strain. A major highway bridge buckled under the force of the quake, and the main Kumamoto Expressway sustained damage that disrupted regional transport. Bullet train services were suspended as engineers inspected the tracks for safety, leaving passengers crowding platforms at nearby stations while they waited for updates. 2 hospitals in the disaster zone reported receiving at least 50 injured patients each within hours of the quake. Staff described a steady stream of ambulances bringing in people with burns and fractures, many hurt while trapped beneath fallen objects. One hospital employee said the facility itself was struggling with water leaks and electrical failures even as it tried to treat the wounded. A nursing home for elderly residents also reported around 10 injuries among residents and staff. The tsunami scare. A tsunami advisory was issued for the Ariake and Yatsushiro seas within minutes of the earthquake, prompting coastal residents to move to higher ground. The advisory was lifted a short time later after monitoring stations detected no significant wave activity, but the scare added to the chaos of an already tense afternoon across Kyushu. Japan's nuclear regulator confirmed the nearby Sendai nuclear power plant sustained no damage and continues to operate safely. Evacuations, outages, and the response. Roughly 300,000 residents across Kumamoto Prefecture have been instructed by local officials to seek shelter at designated evacuation centers as authorities assess which structures remain safe. Widespread power outages and water disruptions have been reported across affected communities, and convenience stores have reportedly seen a wave of panic buying, with shelves emptying quickly in the hours following the quake. Japan's Prime Minister addressed the nation, confirming human casualties, building collapses, road damage, and fires across the affected zone, while cautioning that the full scope of the damage and final casualty count remain unclear. The Defense Ministry has mobilized roughly 3,600 military personnel for disaster relief, along with 20 aircraft tasked with surveying the damage from above. Kumamoto Airport closed for several hours before reopening once inspections were completed, and multiple fires broke out across the prefecture in the aftermath of the shaking. Echoes of 2016. This is not the first time Kumamoto has been devastated by seismic violence. In 2016, a series of major earthquakes struck the same region within days of each other, ultimately killing close to 275 people and injuring thousands more. That disaster damaged more than 200,000 homes and caused economic losses estimated at several trillion yen, making it one of the costliest natural disasters in modern Japanese history. Among the most painful losses from that event was Kumamoto Castle, one of the country's most treasured landmarks, which suffered the collapse of sections of its ancient stone walls. Restoration still incomplete when Tuesday's quake struck. Why Japan shakes so often? Japan sits along the Pacific Ring of Fire, where several tectonic plates converge beneath the Earth's surface, making the country one of the most seismically active places on the planet. Nearly 20% of the world's earthquakes measuring magnitude 6 or higher occur within Japanese territory. Since the catastrophic magnitude 9 earthquake and tsunami of 2011, which triggered meltdowns at the Fukushima nuclear plant and killed close to 20,000 people, Japan has invested heavily in early warning systems, infrastructure that experts say helped limit casualties in Tuesday's disaster. What comes next? Seismologists are watching closely for aftershocks, warning residents across Kyushu to remain alert for continued strong tremors in the coming days. Authorities have urged people not to return to damaged buildings until structural inspections are complete, even as displaced families search for shelter, food, and clean water in the disrupted communities surrounding Kumamoto. Rescue operations at the collapsed mall and the damaged paper factory are expected to continue around the clock, as crews race against time to locate anyone still trapped beneath the rubble. International reaction came swiftly, with several governments and disaster relief organizations offering assistance to Japan in the hours following the quake. Insurance and reinsurance markets have also begun watching the event closely, given the scale of commercial and residential damage already visible in Kumamoto City and surrounding towns, along with the destruction to industrial facilities like the Yatsushiro paper plant. Analysts note that with aftershocks still occurring, including tremors measured at magnitude 5.6 and 4.9 in the hours after the main shock, the full financial toll of the disaster will likely take days or weeks to calculate as damage assessments continue across the region.